Jefferson. I'm an actor here in New Orleans. I've acted in many theaters throughout the city, and we have some questions to answer today. This theater? Oh, it's a professional theater. It has every thing necessary for an actor and for a musician to perform in. It has beautiful dressing rooms on the side, ample stage space, places for the sets to come in and out of, and the seating is beautiful for anyone who wants to attend here. For each show, the crew, the tech crew, the ones who build the sets and all, start probably about 3 to 4 weeks in advance and start building the scenery and all of the props that go in. And each night it takes them about, about an hour, hour and a half before the show to set everything up. As far as plays go, or musicals go, they usually run either 2 weekends or 3 weekends. If you want to know about we're in here before then, rehearsing, practicing for the plays. In other words, you have to run it over and over and over again before you run it before an audience. And usually that's about 6 weeks ahead. Oh yeah, very much so. It's a way of entertaining people, whether it's a comedy or whether it's just a musical where you're singing. Me personally, I just like to provide enjoyment for people, to let them have a good time, to know that they were entertained when they leave at the end of the night. In this building, since it opened up about 5 years ago, but in the New Orleans area, I've been doing shows for about 18 years. Oh, many, over 40, between 40 and 50 shows I've done. So some of my favorite ones have been My Fair Lady, White Christmas, Tuck Everlasting here, many ones. I've done all over town, Young Frankenstein, and a lot of comedies and a lot of musicals. Some of my favorite characters in Sister Act, I was the Monsignor, which was a lot of fun to do. That was a comedy. In Tuck Everlasting, I was Constable Joe. That was also a lot of fun to do. I got to sing and had a lot of fun lines in that one too. Had some fun doing White Christmas last year, which is a very popular movie made into a musical. There's many others, but those are ones that come to mind right away. Some of my favorite directors, I would say Christopher Shaw, who does a lot of shows for JPAS. Kenny Beck, who is doing the show that we're currently doing right now. Wayne Degrapont. I'm trying to think of even others that I've done for Michael McKelvey. And there's many others. I've probably worked for 15 to 20 different directors. Costumes. Well, during Sister Act, I was a priest, so I got to wear fancy priest outfits. They call them vestments in each act, and they were really bright, and the audience loved them. And in the last show, in White Christmas, I played Ezekiel, and he was the farmhand at the inn, and I got to wear a mustache that was about this big, and the audience laughed every time I came on stage. So.
My name is Nicholas Frederick, and I am the managing director for the Jefferson Performing Arts Society, and here to answer your questions today.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Performing Arts Center?
Well, the Jefferson Performing Arts Center was started construction back in 2005, and then it went on hold during Hurricane Katrina, and after all that mess was over, they started construction again, and of course that set construction plans back a little bit, but they picked it back up around 2007, and about 7 years later, which was 3 years past its due date, it actually opened in 2014. And we have been here ever since. It's a beautiful state-of-the-art facility. It seats just over 1,000 people. I said it's state of the art, huh? Sorry, you'll have to edit that. We've got acoustically, it's one of the best spaces in the New Orleans area to perform. We do everything from operas to musicals, straight plays. The building is also. The building also hosts several concerts a year. Everything from rock concerts to symphony orchestras. It's a multi-use facility and basically everything you could ever want in a theater. There's always something going on here. There's rarely a weekend where we don't have a performance or a rehearsal of some sort. I should probably explain to you guys that I don't actually work for the Jefferson Performing Arts Center. So I'm the managing director of the Jefferson Performing Arts Society, which our company started over 40 years ago, and we are the artistic company in residence here. So as the Jefferson Performing Arts Society, we put on around 12 productions a year. When
The dance competitions?
No.
When are they?
Fortunately, I don't have anything to do with the dance competitions here. That is something that is handled by the center. Sometimes they do call on me to work some of the shows, but I'm not responsible for them. Dance recitals are... imagine 60 little children that don't know where they're going, and just as many parents that are all they care about is getting their children on stage. And it's just a nightmare, so I try to stay away from that thing.
How many events?
Like I said, we do about 12 performances, or 12 productions a year. Each one of those productions will do no less than 2 weekends. It's usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 2 weekends. Some of our bigger productions will run 3 or 4 weekends if we think that we can fill the house. What do you mean by top performers? Like who are my personal favorites, or
Yeah,
like our go-to people?
Like, who are your, like, personal...
Well, I don't know if I can say any names because, you know, that might cause a little animosity backstage, but the people that I like working with the most are the ones who come and are prepared. They know their lines before the due date. They come to rehearsal. They're prepared to work. They go above and beyond every day, and you know they don't start trouble with other cast members. It's the people that treat themselves that handle themselves like professionals. Those are the ones that I like to work with the most, and want to keep them coming back.
Boom.
What are some of your favorite events?
My favorite events are the big ones, like this show, South Pacific. We put 6 weeks of rehearsal into it. There's 40 characters on stage. The sets are ginormous. They're all beautifully painted by our in-house staff. It's the events where, when the curtain opens for the first time, the whole audience goes, That's a tough question. My favorite part about being a manager is solving problems. I like a challenge, and I like to solve puzzles, whether they're, you know, math puzzles, crosswords, stuff like that. I'm managing a company where you have anywhere between 20 and 100 people working for you at one time, depending on the show, is always quite the challenge. In general, yes. I mean, every job, I think, has its good days and its bad days, but in general, yeah, I enjoy my job. So, one of the best qualities of a manager is patience. Working with people and managing large amounts of people in stressful situations, it can be quite the task, and just being able to approach every situation with a calm, cool head is definitely one of the most... Well, unfortunately, we don't work in a place where we have the ability to reward people monetarily, because all the shows work within a budget, but I'd say the people who do the hard work and who earn their place, they're the ones that we keep hiring, because, you know, these aren't people that work for us all the time. We have to audition them and pick them per show, and the ones who are worth bringing back are the ones that keep getting hired. So I'd be lying if I said no. I mean, everybody could improve on something, even myself. There's always something that can be worked on. If you're not willing to accept that, then there's no room for improvement.